Hey everyone, welcome to episode 54 of the Paddle Talk podcast here on WSDN. Great to have you along. We've got some great topics this week. We are talking all things studded tires, believe it or not. Also, schedule overlaps. What can be done about it? Is there anything that can be done about it? Or is it even that big of a deal? So join myself, Billy, and John Sorg as we debate these topics on this week's episode of Paddle Talk, brought to you by Racing in the Dirt. Located in Cleveland, Wisconsin, Racing in the Dirt has all the tools to make your 2025 race season even better than you can imagine right now. So get a hold of them for a consult or to place an order. That's area code 920-693-2000, or you can find them on Facebook or racinginthedirt.com. That's Racing in the Dirt, over 30 years experience, ready to get to work for you for 2025. Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 54 of the Paddle Talk podcast. Joining me is Billy Teters and John Sorg. And remember, each episode of Paddle Talk brought to you by Racing in the Dirt out of Cleveland, Wisconsin. From turnkey rides to rollers to even parts and accessories, Scott, Shane, and the crew can get you hooked up. So find them today on Facebook, racinginthedirt.com, or contact them by phone. That's racinginthedirt.com. All right, gents. So we are moving forward. First take of episode 54 here, where we go into a little discussion period, and we're going to get going with track scheduling. Or possibly this could be named, what's your date? Possibly. So let's just jump right into it. All right. So, Billy, I think you have Franklin County four-wheeler schedule up in front of you.
That I do.
And, all right. Let's talk about that a second.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to kick off the season, although they haven't announced their full schedule yet. Texas Mud Drags going back to Franklin County, but instead of being the season finale at Franklin County, they're going to be the season opener, May 2nd and 3rd. Then it looks like your traditional Franklin County schedule with some bracket races. They got their big money race that we get more into about here in a second, scheduled July 4th and 5th. And then their fair race, which is what they say is their biggest turnout for spectators, is July 18th and 19th. And then a few more bracket races, and then the Outlaw Series goes back there for their finale on September 19th and 20th, and then they end the season with the bracket race for Franklin County. Did we talk about Silverback last time?
I don't know that we did. John Sorg, since you are the resident Silverback point series champ, you got Silverback's schedule up in front of you. Maybe we can run through that a second as well.
I actually do. You want me to roll through the whole entire thing?
Just why not? Let's talk about it.
I mean, you start in April, we go the 26th. Nope, 25th to the 26th. Sorry, guys, it's small. R3 showed. Yeah, I knew that was coming. The R3 Spring Showdown, which that ought to be really cool. That was a good event last fall. R3 did a good job. May 9th and 10th, swap meet in our hill climb. May 23rd, 25th is the Sand Invitationals. June 6th through 8th is the Battle in the Sands. June 13th to 15th is the pending Texas Mud Drags. June 27th, 28th is the Outlaw Sand Drag Series. July 4th and 5th, Weekend of Thunder, PTN.
That's correct. That is confirmed at this point.
Nice.
July What's PTN? What's PTN?
20th?
What is Truck Nationals.
Okay. Yeah. Just make sure the people who don't know that.
Yep.
It's the PTN. It stands alone.
It does.
So July 18th to 20th is the Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series coming to Silverback here. In August, we go 1st to the 3rd to be announced. August 15th to 17th, Thunder Down Under. August 29th to 31st, Winner's Circle Shootout. September, we go to 12th and 13th, Race for All the Bananas, which is the Point Series finale. And the last event will be October 3rd and 4th with the R3 Fall Fury, that side-by-side event again, which was a cool deal. Mixed with cars.
Yes, very much so. And for our friends, our ATV only, we'll say friends, down at the Pro Sand Drags, they actually kick things off February 4th through 6th down at Dome Valley Raceway. Then they're moving on to Shelton's, April 22 through 26. And they're wrapping up, as usual, down in Gilbert, Louisiana, October 14 through 16. So that is where the ATV, the purely ATV schedule, we'll say, kind of falls out there. So, all right, gentlemen. So we've talked about now, we haven't heard anything from Tri-County yet, and that sort of thing here in the Midwest. So kind of waiting to hear what happens, what their schedule kind of looks like. But first impressions, Billy Teters, something that jumps out at you. I'll give you first shot. Something that jumps out at you now that we've talked about these schedules.
I know we talked about other schedules in the last episode, and apologies about not having an episode last week. All of us were just too busy. And Isaac coming back from Nashville, I had a bunch of sports stuff going on with my son, and it just started in line. So with these schedules that we talked about these last two episodes, something and mainly that we just talked about just now, and I'll allude to this. John said PTN stands alone. It's hard to stand alone whenever that big money race is going on the same weekend in Franklin County. And I don't know. I know
That's still going to be a hiccup. That's the unfortunate part of, let's just say you got 5 months to put everything into a basket and roll the dice for each track individually. So this cross scheduling, I don't particularly
it's
like
not
that
good. I
part
mean,
of the big
it's not
event
good,
stuff.
especially you're trying to do two big races. Like, and how far are these tracks apart? Like 4 hours? I don't know. I mean, like they're not very far apart, right?
6 hours apart.
Yeah, I mean that's still not very. I mean, for how much competition is in between those two tracks, it's hard to do something like. And I know Isaac's got something to say about it too. He looks like he's got something
He's
going.
drooling.
Yeah, he is. But no,
It's
it's a problem. It's a problem. Yeah, I'll just say that.
like in the duck in the water for Isaac, man.
I mean, it's tough, right? Here's, I guess, where I fall. Obviously, I'm a PTN guy. I have been for a long time. PTN, you get guaranteed payouts. We are going to pay out the same as we have always paid, guaranteed. Whether three guys show up to run Pro Truck Elite Friday night, and five guys show up and run Pro Truck on Saturday, we're still going to pay that class the same amount of money we always have. The other race, maybe not so much. I know last year theirs was based off of car count and that sort of thing. And, I think we all know kind of our feelings on, car count payouts where there's no sponsor money involved, but that's, I understand why it happens and how it happens. But I look at, what Jason Hoskins did, bringing in the added money for Texas Mud Drags down there last fall. And obviously there's money around there to be had. So just looking at it from that direction. But yeah, you kind of have to look at it from both track standpoint. With the PTN series and stuff, that is the chance to be the largest spectator crowd of the summer up at Silverback. It's 4th of July weekend. You get a ton of people that take the week off and stay, through the crowd and that sort of thing, and stay through the weekend. You can possibly have a huge spectator count for Friday and Saturday night, and have some really, really good racing. And with a lot of our friends coming up from the South, coming up to race the Outlaw Series the week before, it gives them, if they want to take that week in between, which a lot of them do, it gives them another reason to race and stay for that back weekend. So, I mean, we're trying to work with everybody as far as, trying to give people multiple races without having to, take more time off of work to make that happen.
Hey, I hear you, but having a big money bracket race
How did that raceman stay in work last
6 hours away from a race, you're trying to do the Pro Truck Nationals, where you say it's guaranteed paid out. And Pro Truck this is where all the elite full body vehicles go race at, you know? So, I mean, it's just it's I don't know. And it's not like these two tracks have a problem with each other. I think this is
No,
just one of these situations where it's just unfortunate where you have this type of scheduling conflict, and it's just weird. I'll just say that.
I mean, let's face it, you're going to have your groups of locals that stick at each track, and then you're going to have a little sliver of some people that'll travel in that group. You're not going to get them all. I mean, it's not like if one race wasn't going on, everybody would flock to the other. You're only getting
yeah,
a small cubicle of people to go.
yeah,
But it's key to the event to get those people.
exactly. I mean, thinking of some guys that travel a little bit and stuff like that. Now it kind of turns into them having to make a choice of, all right, where am I going? At that point in time, where do I have the best chance to do well? And stuff like that. I mean, and Billy's right. The guys that are going to run Pro Truck Elite, probably aren't going to the bracket race anyway. I mean, chances are pretty good. Now,
Right.
guys who run Pro Truck on Saturday, that's a little bit of a different story. But at the same point in time, like I said, that's guaranteed money. That's not there's no question about it. There's no, kind
2
of
cars, 30 cars, it don't matter. You go, you get paid.
exactly. We've tried to always stick to that format and make that happen. So, I don't know. We'll see. And it just stinks because there's no real good way around it, I guess, at this point.
Well,
No.
the Franklin County big money race always has a pretty good reputation, even from when it first started. I mean, you have potentials of winning thousands of dollars in that race. So, I understand that the prestige of that particular bracket race and the money it brings just for, well, really the winners. It's just, and as I think about it, I don't really know who all this really affects.
Me.
Okay, it affects John.
You want to, I mean, I'll give you a perspective because I'm sitting here and I'm torn because I love the PTN and my home track, but I really want to go down to Brookville for that big money because that
Right.
sliver of hope to win that is always there. But I mean, I'm gonna stay loyal to my home track, and I'm gonna stay home for the PTN.
Well, I'm talking about
Unfortunately,
like
but that's
the guys who have full body vehicles in like Indiana. I mean, um, uh, not Carson Combs, his dad, forgot his name.
oh yeah. Now
Combs,
you
I
made me
mean, he
forget.
probably ain't gonna race in the bracket race. He's probably gonna try to win another Pro Truck Elite Points Championship, right?
Right,
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
you're right.
I guess I really don't know who all this affects when I really think about it.
The
But
problem is his son
it's
Carson.
right. I guess it just seems like a problem for some racers who would like to do both. It really does.
I would agree. I would 100% agree. So,
That's where I stand. Yeah, it
Yeah,
makes it hard because
it could just be more like the full body people in Michigan. Like they're like, well, Pro Truck at least that same weekend, but then I could go down to Brookville and potentially win, you know, an exponential amount of money. So it's just, yeah, it has its own quirks, and it'll just work itself out. Some people choose to go one of them. You know, it's just what it is.
yeah.
What it is.
And that's really the crux of it, right? Is that it's people are going to have to make a choice. It just is a bummer that there's not a way that you couldn't do all of it, right? I mean,
Correct.
and I remember a couple years ago, Coles were actually up, John, if you remember this, Coles were actually up and they left Saturday night so they could get back because they got rained out on
yes,
Saturday and the race got pushed to Sunday, and they actually left late, super late Saturday night to go back to run Brookville on Sunday yet. So
because I believe he won at our track and then turned. So he was there late and then
yes.
turned around and basically got there in time to run time trials.
Yeah, I was like, holy cow, that is a tour to get
That's
there.
dedication.
You know what? You know what? They should just run the big money bracket race on the Sunday. That
Then
could
we'll
fix
just
some things.
there you
Because
go.
then some people could do both. That'd be dope.
That would be a really good option there. I mean, let's face it, you could do a test and tune or even a small race, if you wanted to on Saturday and do the big money race on Sunday. I bet you'd pull some people. There's people that would load up Saturday night and they would run down there Sunday morning, I'll bet.
If Damien was here, he would totally tell us why this is all a bad idea. But
Right?
this is why we do it without Damien.
Yeah. So
Also,
we were talking about, somebody said something about Lisbon hasn't really dropped in, but I can tell you unofficially, but basically officially, that it'll be, I think it's the 25th, 6th, and 7th of July will be their 60th anniversary rodeo,
Oh,
which is their big
wow.
Travelrama type event.
yeah,
That's huge.
that sounds like something
Because
that
they'll run that hill climb hill then, right?
Yes, on
Oh,
Sunday.
yeah.
that sounds like something we should go to.
Yes. That we got a group we're planning on going, so
Excellent.
Really? Wow,
Yeah.
dude. And yeah, Silverback or Franklin County's not even racing that weekend. So y'all,
there's
July,
a good
what was it?
weekend.
July 25th, 26th, 27th.
Yes.
Tri-County four-wheelers, Lisbon, Ohio. That sounds like shit. I might try to make it. That sounds like a good weekend.
I would
Sounds like
say
a big
you were
weekend.
Oh, when we were talking about schedules here and stuff like that, I totally I never even thought about to do this on this platform, which is dumb because it's my platform. But one of the biggest races all year is going to take place at Shelton's Dirt Drags the weekend after Memorial Day weekend, May. I don't remember the dates to be honest. Hold on.
it's the 31st.
Yeah, it's the weekend after Memorial Day. So whatever the weekend is after the Silverback race.
Okay. So we did last year we did 2 days, Friday and Saturday. This year we're gonna do 3. We're gonna do Thursday, May 29th, Friday, May 30th, and Saturday, May 31st. And we're gonna probably end up running the same classes as last year, which is basically copy and paste of the Outlaw series. But who knows? I might throw some curveballs in there. ATVs will be allowed there as well. Can't hold them out. So yeah, Shelton's Dirt Drags, the Bluegrass Shootout with cars and ATVs. We will be going back there the weekend after Memorial Day. Plan it. Be there. Badass vehicles. Fast, very fast track, very fast material.
And selfless plug here, Sheldon's Dirt Drag's probably one of the coolest track logos out there.
Ever.
And if there's decals available, I'd really like to get a couple.
I would like to get a sticker. Yeah.
Throw that. Yes. Sticker, it has to be a must at that one. So,
dude, I bet Lone Star made it. So I'm probably just gonna hit them up for those stickers. So
that's a good idea. Gary, Michelle, the cat, hit us up.
Yeah, the cat.
The cat.
Yeah. I think the cat died. Rest in peace to Kitty.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, Kitty Cat. But yeah.
All right.
And if y'all haven't already, Lone Star Graphics, great opportunity for Christmas gifts.
Absolutely. And you know what? Always easy to work with and possibly could be a last minute Christmas gift if you need it. Check them out. What is it? It's Lone Star Graphics.
LoneStarsGraphics.net or something like that.
.net. I remember it's not .com if I remember.
Right. I messed it up last time, but yeah.
Yep. Yes,
Find
you
on
did.
Facebook, LoneStarGraphics.com.
Oh, well, there it is. Find them on Facebook. They are well traveled. They still have galleries going back to the first go round of Pro Truck, if you can believe that. So
they have pictures of Scott Whipple's record breaking run. And it's crazy.
Yep. Absolutely. So
check
them out. So no, I think all in all, though, I mean, nothing really huge jumped out at me at the schedule aside from that weekend. Looking forward to the Speeders race, the Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series race coming up to Michigan in July. I did not get to check that out last year because I was down at the MRA race in Missouri, but excited to get to that. And tell you what, hey, how about Texas Mud Drags coming to the Midwest 2 times?
Sweet.
Once in May and once in June already. I mean,
that's cool.
They could be coming. They could be going to another spot. Who knows?
that could be pretty sweet, I tell you. And that'll be
What do you
something
mean,
different
Billy?
for. What's that,
Billy,
Johnny?
what's Billy mean by that?
You just don't listen to me.
Oh
You just
no,
wait
he's
for
listening.
breaking
Here we
news.
go.
You just wait for breaking news because nothing's confirmed
Oh,
yet.
There we go. That's fair. But that'll be a
great.
first, as far as I know, running 200 foot at Silver Lake. I've never seen it before, and
I've never seen it in my life, and I've been there every week, dang near it.
Yeah,
I remember when they used to run the mud pits at the end.
Yes.
So
Yes. So you could get stuck right by the scoreboard on the south side of the track.
Yes, you could, but there is a concrete bottom.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere down there.
All right. So very good. That sounds really good. And yeah, looking forward to it though. I think it's shaping up to be a very, very good summer racing here in the Midwest. Yes, Billy Teters, more.
Okay, I got one more take about these schedule stuff. If you race in the Midwest, and let's say the more southern Midwest, like Atoka, Thunder Valley, you're not allowed to, okay, I'll even say it like this. If you're in Atoka or Thunder Valley and you're looking at schedules in Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, or even if you're in Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, looking at schedules in Missouri and Oklahoma, or even any of those areas, and you're looking out west or out east more, you're not allowed to complain about track scheduling over each other if they're 12 hours apart. You're just not. You're not allowed to complain that Atoka scheduled over Michigan on Memorial Day weekend. You're just not. You're just not. And
that's just retarded.
And there was just some. I could throw so many people under the bus. I'm not gonna do that though. But there's just so many people were crying years ago about like tracks up in your guys' area, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, scheduling over Missouri and Oklahoma. And I used to be one of those guys bitching about that because I was trying to attract more people down here and stuff like that, blah blah blah. And then I even did something really dumb and got upset at Caleb because Saboba scheduled on the same weekend as Thunder Valley one time when I was trying to pull like the alcohol cars to Thunder Valley for a race.
That was a jerk move.
Yeah, well, that was dumb of me to complain about because they're a whole day away. So, but yeah, nobody is allowed to complain about a racetrack scheduling on top of another racetrack if that racetrack is an over 10-hour drive, 12-hour drive. 6 hours?
Absolutely.
6 hours.
I agree.
If it takes less than a work day to get there, then I get it. But if it takes longer than a work day to get there, shut the hell up. That's what I'll say.
I'm just lucky that we're having that kind of problem. We're not struggling to find a place to go.
True. That is good.
You're not wrong there. That is the truth.
And that's a great problem to have right now.
Yes, it is.
Makes everything I said, and I just look like a dickhead now after you just said that simple little phrase. And now everything I said is just going to make me look like a villain. So thanks.
Oh, you do that on your own. You're good.
No.
Hey, speaking of villains, one more thing before we go off of the subject, Billy, Mid-America, where are we with that? I mean,
what the fuck's that got to do with villains?
Because you're the head of it.
Well, I'm not the head of it, but
I'm not sure on that segue, but I mean, it's a legit question. The segue is quite in question.
All right, well, fine. I'll say it like this because I told some people, but I guess I'll say it public. Whenever you have a series that has two different sets of rules, whenever you go to two different tracks, it looks like shit. So, like, if you, John, or Isaac, since you both would technically race in Pro 1 cars if you came to a Mid-America race, you are, you go to Thunder Valley, you'd be on a Sportsman light in Pro 1. You go to Atoka, you'd be on a Pro light in Pro 1. And then it switches for the bikes also at that point. And it's probably different now because they voted the bike rules differently. But that's the reason why and I'll take the blame. That's the reason why I quit doing Mid-America. Because it just looked like shit whenever Jason Hayes comes to a Mid-America race and we tell him, oh yeah, when you race at this track, it's a pro light, but you go to this one as a sport light, and he's just confused of why it's that way. And then you tell him why it's that way is because nobody wants to get together and make a proper set of rules to try to do something good. And it looks like shit. So
I will stand on the hill that if it's a pro class, you run a pro light. If it's a sport class, you run a sport light.
That pretty much
Because if
defines
you
it.
deviate from that, you're going against the grain of and I don't care if it's asphalt or sand, dirt, whatever, you're going against the grain of everybody else. Clean it up and come on. Look,
100%.
and
100%.
I'm all for that. In our area where I grew up, like, Thunder Valley, pro comp was a sport light class, but it was just for cars. And basically where we're from, pro means money, sport means trophy. That's basically what that is. But I always thought it was dumb to call a pro class if you don't run a pro light. So
yes, I agree. That
mean,
makes no sense, and it is ultra confusing and hard for people to understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we're so far past it now at Thunder Valley. If we changed it, people would just be like, "What? What class am I in?" Like they would just be so confused because we ran 30 years of it with chaos.
But do you think if you had 1 year, okay, so you'd have 1 year of chaos. Do you think by the next year though, people would get it and to everybody it would make sense at that
I
point?
think people would get it a lot faster than a year, but it's just trying to do that with the hoops I would have to jump through, basically. And I'm probably
So it's all about you.
No, it ain't on me. But it might be because nobody else wants to take the fucking initiative to do it and try to do something great with it, So
Right. Well, I miss seeing about it. It's a really good question.
What question?
The one Isaac just did.
This is such a funny.
There's gonna be a lot of drop footage in this one. That's all I gotta say. My word.
What even just happened there?
That was great.
Yeah. I think they would get it quicker than even a year, but I just like I'm the only one that takes initiative to try to do anything. So it's
what
just
you're saying is if you
it's
had a
just tough and it's
partner in
tiring.
crime, it would definitely help if there was a future.
Yeah, but nobody wants to be the partner in crime. They're just like Jeff. They're
I
just
just
scared
said
of Jeff.
if. I just said if. Just
If
a
what?
scenario. Just
If
a
what?
scenario. Maybe you'll have a good Superman step up and want to help out or do something. You never know.
Yeah, maybe. But the key is persistency, and people lack persistency nowadays. They're just like, if
Yeah.
they don't get it the first 2-3 times, maybe they're just like, but me, I'll bug Jeff for shit. Like I'm like, Jeff, we need to change this. We need to change this. We need to do this. We need to do this. Like you just got to hammer on about them.
Right.
People out there in the world, do not make us bring Billy on here every couple of weeks to talk about this, to cry like Tammy Faye Baker, and just somebody step up and let's help this man make this happen. All right, come on.
Oh, yeah, let's go,
Midwesterners are
girlfriend.
that way. Get the Midwestern work ethic out. We can do this. Get it done.
Hey, you're being nice too. I mean, you call this crying. This is called passion, though. Like if nobody if I have to do it like this, or else it just won't get done because I care. And also,
I'm just saying, man, we don't need a Tammy Faye episode on the podcast. I don't want to see running eyeliner from you and makeup and everything else.
This is
not a good look
raw.
for us and not what
I
we're
don't
going
even know who
for here.
Tammy Faye is. So
This is Billy Peters.
Oh my word.
Oh my God, that's way before his time. I forgot about that.
All right, folks, right here, Billy is going to look up and we're going to post 5 seconds of Tammy Faye right now.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll do any of that. I'll look her up, but I doubt we do any.
I'm texting Caleb Mings as we speak to make this happen.
If you won't do it, he will.
No, I'm the producer. I ain't shit of that. None of that shit's getting done.
Tammy Faye Baker.
She looks like John.
Wow.
Ouch.
Good grief. John, I got to say, your car behind you either makes you look quite a bit smaller. Yes. But
oh,
you
yeah.
the clip
Oh,
of
yeah.
her, like, crying,
This is actually a picture of John. Ain't that crazy?
Oh, my God. I'll put one up here, but you don't want to.
All right. So that is going to
Yeah,
wrap
so
up.
yeah.
So
So
the
anyway,
picture
back
of
to
the card.
schedule
Now, what
stuff.
was that about the background picture?
So back to schedule stuff.
So back to scheduling. And I mean, at least here in the Midwest, I say Midwest, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and stuff like that. The KOI schedule is at least probably 2 months away from coming out. I mean, if that's like it was
KOI?
last year, that was 168 dates.
Yeah, dude, they race every.
How many days do they have?
They
I
race
believe it
every
was
day of the week.
168 last year. You know what? Hey, I'm going to get a hold of him. We're going to have him on the podcast here
We should.
in January.
He races more. They race more than anybody.
Oh, absolutely. That dude puts. I mean, you talk about a program that is ironed down, that they have got it going on. I mean, like it, hate it, I get it. There's many schools of thought there, but I can tell you this much: they put a lot of stuff down the track every night, and by every night, I mean like most of the time, 4 or 5 nights a week.
I heard their track surfaces are terrible, though.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie.
For our cars.
But to be fair, it's literally dirt, no prep. I mean, when you start talking, and I talk street, when you talk original street outlaws stuff, this is the dirt equivalent of it.
So they never
didn't that dirt packed down look like a clay bar?
Oh, it's a pulling track, man.
Yeah.
So they never grade it. They just run bikes and trucks.
There may be one point in time during the night, depending on how it goes, they'll take a skid steer and prep the first maybe 30, 40 foot of the starting line, and that's it, dude. That is all.
Hell yeah. At least you start good, I guess.
It all depends.
You got to get it moving in the first 40 feet.
Yeah.
To be honest, the track usually gets better the longer the night goes along, because it gets ripped and you can actually like get a hold of something.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Those first couple of classes out, a lot of times it's like skating rink out there.
They should do a bracket race at a KOI race. God, they would get so many entries.
I don't know that I'll be honest, I don't know that there's timing system would handle it.
Oh, yeah, because it's just like a plug in and read a time kind of thing.
Yes, it's very similar to another 3-lettered organization we've had. We've done some coverage for.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's the MRA. I'll say it.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, all right, but hey, that is more topics for another show. So that being said, that is going to wrap up our segment on track schedules, and Billy Teters has our closing ad read for this section.
That's right. And as always, every episode is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help their customers, not ours, their customers compete at their very best. With over 40 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they're equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible parts, and experienced and helpful staff as well. You can reach them at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. You can find them on Facebook at racinginthedirt.com. Check them out on Instagram at racinginthedirt.com as well. And then you can find them on their website, racinginthedirt.com. If you have to send them an email, you email them at Shane, S-H-A-N-E, Shane at racinginthedirt.com. Once again, racinginthedirt.com for all your competition needs in the competitive motorsports world.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to episode 54 of the Paddle Talk podcast. And in this segment, we are talking studded tires. Caleb Mings chiming in remotely for this segment, along with the usual suspects. So great to have Caleb on board. And remember, as with all segments on the Paddle Talk podcast, this one is brought to you by Racing in the Dirt. Find them on Facebook or racinginthedirt.com, or give them a call. Check out the ad read at the end of this segment for more details. Racinginthedirt.com or Racing in the Dirt on Facebook. All right, gents. So we're talking studded tires. Now, for me, when we start talking studded tires, Johnny, I'm sure you're the same here. I think like Anchor Bay over by Richard's Auto Parts, putting the studded tires on, going out and run the ice and stuff like that. but apparently some guys have been testing them on some of the sand tracks. How do we
What?
feel about that?
I feel like
Wait, what'd you say, Isaac?
What's
what?
that?
What'd you just say, Isaac? I was talking to Caleb.
Studded tires.
What
Yeah.
about 'em?
How do we feel about studded tires? Up here in the
Uh,
north, that's purely an ice thing. But apparently some guys are experimenting with them on the dirt.
So
Are you buying or selling studded tires as a performance advantage?
I'll buy.
is this like a class thing or what is this for? I mean, what's the well, okay, fill me in. Does anybody know what this advantage is supposed to be?
Billy Teeter said he's buying. So Billy, expand. Buying.
I like the studded tires just because they look cool, and I don't really know if they help with anything, but I would like to think they do. So, maybe it does help with traction. I don't know. Caleb is on the phone here,
All
and
right.
He absolutely hates these. So
Well,
I
let's
was gonna
hear
say,
his
Caleb
input.
Mings, buying or
Caleb.
selling
Hold on,
studded
wait.
tires as a performance advantage.
How is it a performance advantage?
Are you buying or selling that they are a performance
You're asking Caleb
advantage?
that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Isaac just asked you, Caleb, if you're buying or selling that it's a performance advantage.
Here's my take on it. On an actual, like, real prepped track, it is absolutely worthless. The only time that people should be using studs is if they're only racing hard pack or like grass drags or something where they don't allow paddle tires. And the reality is that 99% of the tracks that we're servicing that are people that are actually in contention for records, they're on surfaces where you don't need studs and on surfaces where they allow paddles. Paddles are going to give you way more traction than studs. And I know that there are some people that have both, but I think the reason why they do both is not because they think the studs are giving an extra boost with the paddles. I think it's that they're just kind of covering all their bases and being able to run the same tire on hard pack or loose surfaces.
Okay. So we definitely don't allow these tires for our record books, right? Because
Yeah,
we totally
and I think
should.
the reason why we did that, Billy, is just because of the safety issue that studded tires present. There's, different organizations where they've straight up outlawed them, and that's just because you can't guarantee the installation of them. I mean, paddle tires, we're knowing that companies are making these, but when you're talking about studs, that's usually the racer installing them. And sometimes they do a good job with it, and sometimes they just turn, their tires into basically projectile weapons, spraying out their loose studs out into the crowd.
And I think I'm okay with it because they would. I think they would add some ET to it, right? I think they would. We should reconsider adding them to the classes.
Billy wants to see the weaponization of the sport.
Oh,
John just said I want to see the weaponization of the sport.
all right. John Sorg, buy or sell studs on a performance advantage on a sand car?
On a sand car prep track, like now that I'm looking at it in these other directions, I agree with basically kind of what Caleb said. I don't see any advantage of it on the sand. Anything like on a prep track like that for matter, but like on a hard pack track, like say a KOI track, I would see a studded tire would probably be good if it's legal, correct?
Correct. And I do not believe it is.
Okay.
I don't think so anyway. So I've never
I
run
can see
into
those
one.
being a big issue in the pits. Like if you're walking next to a car and all of a sudden, you ever bump into a tire, shit, you get ran over, you're going to get cut.
Right. Well, and like I know, so like KOI being a temp track, they run kind of the electronics up the middle of the track or something. You got a studded tire. What happens if you run over the electronic cables and stuff?
Oh my God.
Carve that thing up. So
you're in trouble.
I guess my take on it is I think it's a lot like dual paddles, right? It looks cool, it may or may not have a performance advantage, but I feel like when it did have a performance advantage was before we had the tire technology and everything that we have now. I mean, because let's face it, no dual tire car, to my knowledge, has ever gone faster than the single tire cars we have today.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
There was a dual paddle car that ran like a 226. Was there not? Didn't the Blair
Yeah,
girl?
but either way, Dennis Reich's
To
been
my knowledge, is the
216.
fastest dual paddle car, Billy. I want to say that they ran like a high 240 with it the last time that they, or the best time they ran with it.
No. I specifically remember a magazine clipping of it saying like a 226 or something like that. Okay, Caleb says no.
I would
Well,
have
I
to
mean, that
agree with
coulda
Caleb
happened.
because I'll be honest, I never saw that car run better than like a mid 50 to 60. So
Was that whenever it brought? Was that when it brought back out after a few years?
correct.
Yeah. See, then
Yes.
it's not going to be like I don't know. I feel like they put it on kill when they're younger. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing. I just don't feel like there's a performance advantage there, but I think there might be a safety issue, I guess, from where I'm sitting.
I buy in that. Go ahead. Go ahead, Caleb.
That brings up another thing too. If the car or bike or whatever it is involved in an accident on the track, now you've got the studs on the tires. That's a safety hazard for the vehicle operator. They might get run over by the tires, and if that tire ever does break off the vehicle, and I think that's out here on the West Coast, I think that's the main concern. They don't want that tire. I mean, loose tires already are dangerous enough, but then when you've got something with spikes on it, I think that's the bigger concern.
Well, you can get stuff to keep those in place better than what they are right now. I mean, we shouldn't outlaw this just because it could be dangerous. There's a lot of things about a race car or a drag bike that could be dangerous. We just, this
But
could
that's
be
kind of a Captain
something.
Obvious.
What did you say, John? I can't hear. I'm not wearing my headset. What did John say?
I said it's kind of a Captain Obvious.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if it helps performance, why would we deny that?
Well,
Safety.
we also don't want to say that you can make your car out of PVC pipe just because it'd be lighter.
Oh, bam. Boom.
There's nothing in our rules that say that.
You're right, but maybe we should say that. Construction does have to be, meet certain requirements.
Yeah, but we're talking about drag racing, not traffic.
I think that's a good argument, though, Billy. Just because other parts is dangerous, I don't think that we should go and say, yeah, let's make it more dangerous. Because I mean, let's be honest. I think we can all agree that if given the choice of getting hit by a paddle tire loose from a vehicle and a studded tire loose from a vehicle, I think we'll all choose paddle tire.
I could take this into such a different turn that would lead into a much lengthy conversation, but I'm going to avoid that right now. And I totally could, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because we've been on it way too long.
I feel like we have enough insurance concerns nowadays trying to get covered for races. That might be something we don't need to go down that road.
Most tracks don't even have insurance. They got liability waivers.
Oh, they still cover insurance, but whew,
Yeah.
I would think.
Talking about leading down a whole different discussion, Billy. Let's not get into that.
Yeah, come on, squirrel.
Well, I'm just saying. We could go a whole nother route with this if y'all wanted to. It all started with these stupid stud tires. So
Little Damien, narrow it up.
Little Damien, you're mad because you're mad because you stand in front of Damien. All you can see is his beard, ain't it?
Oh.
All right. So let's close out this segment. Studded tires still up in the air. I tell you what, if you're watching this on YouTube, throw a comment below or even on our Facebook page. I'm kind of curious how everybody else feels about it. So,
Just tell us why studded tires should be allowed, and we'll consider it.
or why not? So, either way. And Billy has an ad read to wrap up this segment.
As always, these episodes are brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. That's RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt chassis. Whether you're looking for a full build, turnkey, or ready to race, or simply just a cage in your existing ride, or maybe a chassis that'll be the foundation of your newest race vehicle, Racing in the Dirt offers it all. You can contact them for a consultation on your build today, 920-693-2000. You can visit their website, racinginthedirt.com. At the top, you can look at their tires and wheels, all their products, the chassis as well. And that's racinginthedirt.com. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram. And then, like I said, you can reach them at 920-693-2000. And if you ever need to email them, that is Shane, Shane, Shane at racinginthedirt.com. Racinginthedirt.com.
All right, folks. So that's going to wrap up episode 54 of the Paddle Talk podcast. Great discussion tonight. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a comment down below. Let us know how you did. Also, contact us. You can find us on Facebook and shoot us a message there as well if you like. And let us know how we're doing. So, all right. So on behalf of myself, Billy Teters, John Sorg, all the staff with WSDN, Caleb Mings, Dave Applegate, our friend Damian Bowers, Paul Moore, anybody that's appeared on our show, we thank you for watching. Thank you for inviting us in, whether it's on your drive home, at work while you're supposed to be working, or what have you. We appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and we'll see you next time.